The United States just leaked the secret location of one of our submarines, and it's clearly a flexing of the muscles, if I can call it that, because they also revealed that we have nukes that are stronger than the 2 atomic bombs that have been used in war before. Stick around until the end of this video too, because our relationship with Israel is kind of on the rocks for some reason.
The U.S. is using a submarine to send a message to Iran to stay out of Israel's war against Hamas. U.S. Central Command posted this photo of a guided missile submarine apparently heading through the Suez Canal. That sub contains up to 154 extremely powerful Tomahawk cruise missiles on board. It is very rare for the Pentagon to reveal anything about the locations of its missile subs. Telling the world that this sub is now in the region is a clear message to Iran and its proxies to leave Israel alone.
You would think that this sub includes a nuclear warhead, but that's not the case. You see, these subs, they carry Tomahawk missiles rather than nuclear-tipped ballistic missiles, and it would honestly be very surprising for the Pentagon to just kind of outright tell everybody where our nukes are, right? So this is obviously a military flex of sorts, although here's what I want you to notice here. They're flexing mere weeks after the Biden administration talked about proposing a new nuclear bomb. The Department of Defense is looking to develop a new variant of the B-61 gravity bomb, and even though production of nuclear weapons has been kind of like frozen since the Cold War, having it restart just a few days before the Hamas attacks seems, how do I call it? A little fishy, huh? I think that's the best term that we can call it.
The Pentagon asking Congress to fund a nuclear bomb 24 times more powerful than those dropped on Japan to end World War II. This would be major to have in our arsenal. This is the Senate Armed Services Committee raises concerns about growing nuclear threats from Russia, North Korea. Tom Dempsey has more on this from Washington. Tom?
Good morning, Marky. Yeah, this morning, military leaders in the United States want to see Congress approve the production of a brand new nuclear weapon far more powerful than the atom bombs used in World War II. The military leaders saying they want to keep Americans protected from rising threats around the world. As the world watches wars being fought in both Europe and the Middle East, this morning a new push by the Department of Defense to upgrade its nuclear weapons. Military leaders recently announcing they will pursue production of the B-61-13 nuclear gravity bomb, a weapon 24 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima, Japan during World War II. One defense leader writing in a statement that the need for the new nuclear weapon, quote, is reflective of a changing security environment and growing threats from potential adversaries.
This is as serious a topic as we will hear about this year.
Earlier this month on Capitol Hill, the Senate Armed Services Committee focused on the country's nuclear strategy. Leaders from both sides noted ongoing threats from enemies like Russia, which recently de-ratified a nuclear test ban treaty, as well as North Korea, which continues to conduct numerous weapons tests.
To prevent war and keep the peace, it is incumbent on legislators to commit today to a program of sustained innovation and investment. This is the only way we can reclaim lost ground.
Here's something else that I think was a little interesting to learn about this bomb. It's probably 22 times more powerful than the one that was dropped in Hiroshima. I mean, let that information sink in, huh? I do have a question though. Are you comfortable with having this probable? Because it seems ever more likely each and every single day, but yeah. Are you comfortable with this probable war being led by the commander-in-chief, Joe Biden? I'm talking about the president here, and y'all know that he is the commander-in-chief. Comment a quick yes or no on that one if you're confident with him leading the force. And while you guys are at it, smash the like button for the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications so that you don't miss out on any of these updates that everybody here at home needs to know about. Appreciate the updates, guys. Now, no matter how this poll in the comments went, one thing is certain with this possible clash with Iran. A lot of people are not excited that President Biden's in power for it. Most of them Democrats.
The last couple of polls have really shaken Democrats because I think at the very least it has dispelled of the notion that this is going to be an automatic or that this would be an automatic for Joe Biden. And these are the concerns, frankly, that I think people are having around the country in every conversation that I've had. I'm sure that lots of Democrats and Biden aides have the same conversations. A lot of people are down on Joe Biden's leadership. They're worried about his ability to finish out his term strong. They're worried about things around the economy where Democrats are less trusted than Republicans in polls, including ours. And that's something that Democrats, maybe too late, but it's something that they have to come to terms with and understand. And I think increasingly are, even as the primary process is about to begin.
This leads you to believe that the actions from this administration has been mainly to prop up the president, basically make him look better and ultimately, get better numbers in the polls. But I mean, do you guys think that this is really going to work? Do any of you think differently of our leadership with this entire deal with Iran? However, I just can't shake the feeling that it's more for show rather than them actually heading into war. Here's a recent press conference in the White House, and I want you guys to look at Kirby's body language here, because this guy, he cannot maintain eye contact if the world's next war relied on it.
Can you characterize the closeness of the relationship right now?
It's extremely close, and we're, as was transmitted by the president in the call of Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday, we remain solidly behind Israel as they continue to try to eliminate this threat to their people and to their sovereignty, and they're going to continue to get security assistance from the United States. There's no daylight there whatsoever. Now, look, we're friends, and friends don't have to agree on every single nuance and every single word. The Prime Minister speaks for a sovereign nation and for a sovereign people.
Now, at this point, it looks like Israel wants to escalate this even further, but the Biden administration, even with its show of force, seems to kind of want to step back here for a second. Now, you have to ask the obvious. Are we biting off more than we can chew here?
President Biden spoke with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the phone on Monday and reportedly asked him to agree to a 3-day pause to allow these hostage negotiations to play out. And the proposal is that Hamas would release 10 to 15 hostages and use those 3 days to compile a list of names and then let America and Israel know who exactly these hostages are. So far, it doesn't look like Netanyahu is going to go for this idea. But what do you know about this conversation?
Absolutely. There are a lot of high-level talks taking place behind the scenes to get the around 240 hostages out of Gaza. But the Israelis have been very clear. They are bringing the fight back to Hamas inside the Strip. And so they're unwilling to have any sort of long-term pause in the fighting or a formal ceasefire with Hamas.
On the one hand, you can say, oh, shoot, we didn't mean to get this far and have Israel wage a full-on war that could ultimately pull in the United States. Or you could just kind of say, well, things are going according to plan. False flag here? Anyone? If that's the case, then heck, we may be looking at the most probable World War III scenario in modern times. Now, remember that we've seen more than 40 attacks on U.S. military bases in Iraq and Syria since mid-October. I mean, we could say, hey, Iran, don't attack us all we want, but if they keep on attacking the U.S., then what else is going to happen next, right? But what do you guys think about all this? Should we expect things to escalate even further now as it looks like Israel isn't listening to the president at this point? And with that being said, will he then be affected in the ballots in 2024? You decide on the last word, as I always do with my videos, guys. Before I go, I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for the love. Thank you for checking out the brand new YouTube channel, Truth Exposed. I left a link for you guys in the description down below this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care and be safe.